Next portion of our program is dedicated to recognizing 12 honorees who've had a significant impact on NACDA over its first 50 years, whether that's individually as a member of an organization or executive of a company. These recipients are being honored with the NACDA Golden Anniversary Award, recognizing their contributions to NACDA over the years. Honorees kindly stand as you are being introduced. And we'd ask, in the spirit of keeping things moving along, that we wait until the end and we'll give everybody one big round of applause. Our first honoree is Steve Hatchell, representing the National Football Foundation. NACDA's relationship with the NFF expanded with the inception of the Kickoff Classic and the foundation signing on as the major charity for the game. In addition, the NFF has named its annual athletics directors award after NACDA past President John Toner, and for the past 25 years, NACDA's executive director has been honored with a seat on the prestigious National Football Foundation Board. In addition, NACDA runs the Northeastern Ohio chapter of the NFF. Moving on to our next honoree on the upper dais, to my right, we have Jim Host for Host Communications. Back in 1995, Host financially supported the NACDA-AFCA joint venture, College Football USA, an outgrowth of the 125th anniversary of college football. In addition, Host secured a major sponsorship for NACDA from the Coca-Cola Company in 2001, a sponsorship which still thrives today. And finally, back in 2010, Host placed an exclamation point on his relationship with NACDA by entitling the Jim Host NACDA Intern Program. Tim O'Toole with USA Today is our next Golden Anniversary Award winner. Since 1993, USA Today has been NACDA's exclusive print partner for the Director's Cup. They've also provided adjacent advertising, which allowed NACDA to promote various platforms and sponsorships. And with the Director's Cup recently celebrating its 20th anniversary, USA Today has been there every step of the way. And to give you a sense for how solid this partnership, of course, in this day and age where every long-form contract has to have all this complicated language to outline partnerships, there's actually no formal contract that exists between NACDA and USA Today, just a handshake between Gene Polazinski and Mike Clary that still holds strong today. Next up on the lower dais, to my right, we have Maryland Athletics Director Kevin Anderson, representing the John McClendon Minority Scholarship Foundation. Kevin's been such an integral proponent of the McClendon Foundation as both a board member and past NACDA president. Since its inception, the foundation's awarded more than $850,000 to postgraduate scholarships to minorities who plan to pursue a graduate degree in athletics administration. In 2007, the McClendon Foundation initiated its inaugural Hall of Fame class, honoring minority administrators who have left their mark on athletics history. Next, we have Kathy Polanshek, representing NACDA's Exhibitors. Since 1964, when NACDA had just 30 exhibitors at its first convention, exhibit revenue has obviously been vital to NACDA's financial well-being. Kathy, representing NACDA Insurance, has been a mainstay among the multitude of exhibitors who have supported NACDA throughout the years. And this year, if you've walked the floor, you will see more than 200 companies being showcased. Moving to Kathy's left, we have Pat Battle. Pat and the Collegiate Licensing Company were instrumental in assisting NACDA with establishing ICLA back in 2002, NACDA's 8th association, which was a merger of the National Collegiate Licensing Association and the Association of Collegiate Licensing Administrators. Establishment of ICLA showed the power of NACDA's association management within the industry. It was really the springboard to building NACDA's association management platform, which now totals 15 associations and 3 foundations. Next is NAIA's Jim Carr. The NAIA's relationship with NACDA dates back to its early days as a way of ensuring all segments of collegiate athletics were represented both in membership and leadership. Since its inception, NACDA has always had an NAIA rep on its executive committee. Next, we have Vin Cullen representing NATYCAA. In 1999, NATYCAA officially began its operation under the management of NACDA, but 7 years earlier, it was Cullen, then the AD at Community College of Rhode Island, who led a group of athletics directors aiming to integrate the junior college entities all under one umbrella. Today, the NATYCAA contingent in NACDA is 675 institutions strong. Here representing the NCAA and President Mark Emmert is NCAA Senior VP for Championships, Joni Comstock. NACDA has a very strong relationship with the NCAA that stems back to the hiring of Mike Clary before he accepted the ED position with NACDA. Now, recent governance adjustments by the NCAA have strengthened AD's positions as practitioners. Look no further than NACDA's president, Jim Phillips, who also serves as the current chair of the NCAA Management Council, and NACDA Executive Committee member Keith Gill serving as the vice chair. Next, we have Ken Haines with Raycom Sports. Ken's been a dear friend of NACDA for more than 30 years now. Always behind the scenes, he's assisted NACDA as an unpaid media consultant in all of the kickoff and pigskin classic preseason football games, also helping with TV contracts with ABC. Raycom has been sponsoring NACDA's Final Four pregame reception since 1994, and under Ken's guidance, Raycom has enhanced its NACDA sponsorship by becoming a sponsor at this year's inaugural NACDA FBS Leadership Summit. Representing Richard Weiss and Sports Business Journal, Michael Smith. Since 1998, SBJ has been the print partner for NACDA's AD of the Year program. During the course of this relationship, SBJ has provided NACDA more than $1 million in advertising opportunities, which has afforded NACDA the ability to cross-promote the brand and thank sponsors. And our final recipient is the AFCA and Grant Taft. Here today we have Baylor Athletics Director Ian McCaw accepting on behalf of AFCA and Taft. NACDA and the AFCA have had a long-standing relationship with one another, and back in 1990, AFCA became the primary charity for the Pigskin Classic. The two have worked throughout the years to become a force within the industry, beginning with the 125th anniversary of college football, which grew to become NCAA football, and they work in unison on many football-related issues. In addition to these honorees, we would be remiss if we didn't recognize one of NACDA's most pivotal figures in its first half-century of existence, the man who led the organization for its first 46 years and remains a dedicated and extremely important fixture as NACDA's Executive Director Emeritus, Mike Clary. Congratulations. Thank you so much to all of you. You've provided NACDA unwavering support throughout the first 50 years. To speak on behalf of the Golden Anniversary winners, I'd like to invite Jim Host up to the podium. Jim.
Thank you. I'm going to shake this up a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody a chance to stand as you should for one purpose. This association was started 50 years ago by an individual who left the NCAA, and when he left the NCAA, Walter Byers said, "You'll never succeed with this." Mike Clary not only succeeded, but Mike Clary built something with great vision. And all of these ADs that are seated in front, and all of you that are out in the crowd have no idea that in the first convention, he had 30 exhibitors. That's what the program says. The fact is, he sold 12, and 2 of them didn't pay. So it's time for this whole place to stand and give a standing ovation to Mike Clary. All of these individuals who have been recognized here as part of this 50th anniversary, who are individuals who represent organizations or individuals who I've known for, I hate to say it, almost 50 years. There's a couple that I want to point out. One, Pat Battle and his dad, Bill, created the licensing business, created what you have as an association. and the debt that this industry owes to them for what they did, building something out of nothing, creating an industry, creating revenue for every single one of those of you who are associations and all those of you who are members of collegiate institutions. You owe Bill and Pat a deep debt of gratitude. Pat Battle. To Vin Cullen, nobody even knows who the hell he is. Vin Cullen created the ability for all junior colleges to come together and to merge together to be part of this great association. And he walks around in these halls and nobody says, who's he? Everybody says, who's he? But you know what? We all know who he is. We all know what he's meant to this group. And you should give a great round of applause to Vin Cullen. And to Ken Haines. This association has had people who have worked with it and who have supported it and who have supported it financially from day one. Guess what? This guy has supported this association with his corporation's money and behind the scenes. In fact, every time you go to a Final Four, there's a Raycom event, there is an event, but it's Ken Haines. And for what he's done to support this association over these 50 years will never, ever, ever, nobody can ever say thanks enough to Ken Haines. To NAIA, to the NCAA, to the Sports Business Journal, to USA Today, we all know what they have meant to this association. To Kathy, representing all the exhibitors, we know what you meant in the early days to the association and how you went out and helped recruit other exhibitors to be able to achieve the benefit of this place. But there's two other groups that I want to talk about, and that's the National Football Foundation, Steve Hatchell, and that's AFCA, Grant Taft, who's not here today. Think about the fact that these two groups came together and we worked together to form the foundation of NCAA football, and the NCAA then agreed, and we had something that was great. That's the little pennant that's on the helmets. That's the thing that was going to be competitive with the NFL. Understand what that meant to the foundation of what we now have, which is a college football playoff, and the fact of the promotional assets that that gave us. And we ought to say thanks to AFCA and to the National Football Foundation for what they did to support NACDA. Mike Cleary started something for John McLennan. You know why? Because John McLennan's one of the great basketball coaches of all time. Nobody knew that. I sat next to John McLennan at the Hall of Fame for a number of years. And Mike worked with John McLennan at the old Cleveland Pipers. And John McLennan was a great human being and a great coach, and he put this minority program in to recognize one of the great human beings in the history of college sports. And Kevin Anderson here representing the John McLennan. But this was a Mike Cleary initiative. Understand the importance of that. Now, I want to close by making a passionate comment. Not that anything I say is very passionate. My mother came from a family of 15 and my dad from a family of 5. I've got 71 first cousins. The most money my dad ever made in his life was $8,000 a year. God gave me the ability of throwing a baseball. I got one of the first 2 college scholarships ever given at Kentucky. Never had a car till I signed a pro baseball contract. Never had any money except $15 a month laundry money that Bernie Shively, who was the AD, would sit in an office and had dollar bills stacked in front of him and would pass them out one by one. And every time he did, he'd look up and he said, "Host, you're not doing very good in Spanish." you're not doing very good in this. My point with all this is, understand that there's 98% of people who have college scholarships who don't go on to play at the next level. Understand what we're all about in this room. What we're all about in this room is giving opportunity to young people to succeed in life with the academic assets we have. And we must continue to understand how important that is. How important it is, the job that all of you do. How important it is that all of you in this room understand what this is all about. So thanks to all of you. I think Mike Lude is the oldest president of NACDA that's here today in terms of not only age, but in terms of number of years that he served. But think of all of the effort that all of these individuals have made. 50 years of accomplishment. First year of this group, he might have had 100 people attend. 6,000 this year. 6,000 this year. 15 associations that are here as a result of the leadership of Mike and now the leadership of a great successor, Bob Vecchione. Thank you very much.